Thanks for joining us on another episode of Between the Notes. Today, we have something very exciting in store. You know, we've talked about correlating careers. We've talked about singers having other opportunities, and we're so excited to bring on a fine, amazing tenor who has added a little something to his life as a stand-up comedian using his experience in opera and chorus and so forth, and combining those events into what is a very, very fulfilling career.
Yeah,
Todd,
sorry. I'm so excited about this. But I've been watching his content on Instagram for such a long time, and when he agreed to do the show, we were just super excited. So go ahead, introduce.
Yeah, so we have with us today tenor comedian Todd Strange.
Hey, welcome, Todd. How's it going, buddy?
Good. Great to be here. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
this is awesome. Thanks for having me. This is super cool to be on. As I told you, I'm big fans of both of you. Both of you are singing. You're both amazing artists. So it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure just to meet you and just to hang, have an online hang with you.
Well, we feel the exact same way, man.
Absolutely.
I think that in this medium, you are one of the few who've really done such a fantastic job of it. And you've had me laughing my butt off for a while with all the posts. For anybody who doesn't know, please check out @StrangeTenor on Instagram. I'm sure. What other platforms are you?
I try and throw them up on all of them. Instagram's been the one that's been the kindest, I guess, for a lot of us. But so I'm still baby, but I'm like at 15 or 14.1K there. But then I'm also on TikTok. I think it's Strange Tenor or Strange Tenor Laughs or something is the handle. There's Strange Tenor on YouTube, and then Todd Strange on Facebook. And then I think I have a comedian page that's has about 2 followers. It's baby steps when you're doing niche comedy. It's like,
I hear you. Well, tell us a little bit about how you got started. I mean, obviously, if anybody's seen your Instagram stuff, they're very aware of that. You have a legitimate voice. You have a great,
absolutely,
great voice.
You.
And so, how did that all get started?
Well, I was doing I was singing. I've been singing for about almost 30 years, professionally. So I've been singing and classically trained tenor, just kind of sort of bridesmaid material where I never quite got over the hump of just all my superstar work was kind of done in college. I was also a professional student, so I really knew how to just chill in college for a long time and just kind of marinate there in different things, what have you, whether it be alcohol, whether it be weed, whatever, it's kind of whatever, but I got through, but it took, the tenor a little longer. Very, very typical,
it's not always a bad thing, right? Got to let the voice kind of mature and do that,
Yeah, I think
it's funny because go ahead. I was just gonna say it was funny because we were doing some Puccini, we did Rondine and some other stuff, and they're like, "Oh, you sound right." I'm like, "Well, yeah, because I'm an old student, and this is what I'm supposed. This would be what I should be singing on a real for money, but I'm at the school, and yeah." Exactly. It was the time to sing Tamino, and it was time to sing Ruggiero and some of those right in the cream of the voice, 28, 29, 30, 31 right then. Yeah, it was a good time. But it was at the school.
Where did you grow up and where did you go to school, if we don't mind you asking?
I went to I'm a NorCal boy, or Central California. So near Sacramento. I grew up in Yuba City. We happen to have this really wonderful voice teacher there who was kind of a transplant, and she studied at the Mozarteum, and she's very silken scarves diva, as I called her. She was very, my dear, but she was amazing. Her name is Joaquina Johnson, and she kind of snatched me up. Joaquina Johnson, she snatched me up about 14 and kind of just started teaching me. I wanted to sing. I had a decently good natural voice that had some spin to it, weirdly, and so she was like, "We need to get this under wraps and not have any bad habits." So she kind of helped me not have any horrible habits. Growing up, I was a pusher, so it was still pretty tough to fight that. But
sure,
and I didn't know what the air tank did for a long time how that worked down there. But I'm still learning. But
same.
Yeah, it's a whole mystery, but daily fight. But yeah, and then I grew up, went to UOP, University of the Pacific in Stockton. I transferred after many years of like junior college and just kind of dicking around, and then graduated from there. Went on to grad school. I think I'm like one class shy of my master's, if we're going to be honest, but I am teaching. I do teach. They're fine with it. Like I
Right
teach
on.
adjunct at a couple universities. So
Cool.
but yeah, I'm like, yeah, I was in grad school for a long time. I did like 9 roles in grad school with orchestra, original
Well, there
language.
you go. There you go.
Yeah, so I was pretty seasoned, like leaving, and then I was getting hired also as a professional by Arizona Opera at the time when,
Sure.
yeah, it was before Scott Altman. Actually, it was with Scott as a singer back in the day, like in the early 2000s.
Joel Revson.
Yeah, Joel. No, it was pre. So this was actually pre-Joel. This was, but yes, I did like a few shows with Joel. Yeah. When Joel came to the company, he kept hiring me because I was already in the flow, the compromaria flow. I had Bob Swenson was my teacher, who's now at Eastman, whose son is fantastic tenor, by the way. Anyway,
absolutely.
Yeah, Matty. Geez, Matt Swenson sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So I was there, and went to Arizona, did that whole thing, and did a bunch of work there. Did a bunch of compromario stuff at the company. Transferred to San Diego Opera as a yap late, like in my 30s.
Okay.
And did that for like 2 years. Ian never hired me for the main stage. So, and then that whole scandal went down after that, after I left. So I did 2 years there, lived with a guy named Nick Ravelis, who was my boss. He passed. He was the head of education. It was basically a meat grinder for education. You did 6 days a week. Wow. On the road, 2 shows a day, and then you had to sing for the donors at night. So it was just a meat grinder, and then all their singers were fresh because we were just like put through it. And then they threw us on stage for the chorus too, which was bullshit.
Wow.
But then
and they paid you a grand total of $300
actually, that
a
was
week.
the thing. We had to be okay with it because they housed us, and they were paying us like a 1099 equivalent.
Right.
Of like $600 a week back then, which was
it's not bad.
Was not bad. And then they were tacking on the chorus contracts on top of that. So you're pulling in about $1,000 a week when you're on contract with the chorus. And at the time when you don't have as many responsibilities, it's not too bad as a young artist.
Well, I was just going to say kudos to them for being able to tack on all the extras and provide housing and so forth to make it actually financially
they were
worthwhile.
Good. Right. I actually researched the price before I researched the duties of all these yaps because I was like, well, I don't want to lower it's not that I didn't want to like get an agent and do the thing, but I was like, everyone is just dying. I was like, and then I'm like asking my friends who are actually doing the union yaps, and I'm like, what do you guys do? And they're like, we just sing chorus, and then like if we're lucky, we're just thrashed by the end, and we might sing for an agent, and if we can still vibrate, maybe we'll get a call. And I'm like, get the fuck out. And I'm like, yeah. And I was like, well, I'm doing like leads and like getting all kinds of like stage time. So I'm like, in some ways I kind of like, I did things like Ohio Light Opera after that, and just did a ton of performance, know. So those are my yaps. It was really full of a lot of stage time and a lot of like hijinks, and like it was outreach, right? So your cafetorium shows suck. You're like cream corn and like tater tot casserole. You're like, okay, fuck, but then you're doing like, doing like high level rep, and you have some donor, asshole in the back, like roaming to see if you can actually sing still. So you have to sing well. Right. And so you're singing that stuff pretty well in the morning before noon. And I felt like it kind of locked some stuff in a good way for me in terms of got me the stage time that I needed, and with a really like responsive audience that people with pearls won't respond to.
Oh yeah.
It is interesting to see how incredibly unbelievably enraptured in what we're doing.
Right.
I did a ton of educational outreach shows. Well, I remember we would start the Barber of Seville with Largo al Factotum at 8 a.m.
And they're
That
like,
was
what the fuck is happening
it's
right now?
It's crazy. I'd have to get up around
Yeah.
5:30,
Oh,
get in
God.
the van. The van left at 6.
The
We'd go out
van and the van trips are kind of like, you'll never forget those rides
Right.
for one way or another. You never
Right.
forget, like, you know exactly who you're performing with within
Yeah.
about
yeah.
15 minutes of that ride.
Oh, yeah.
You know how the whole year is going to go. You're like, oh, okay. And you know who to talk to and who not to talk to. And you're like,
Oh, sure.
exactly.
yeah, you're like, okay, that person about 11:15, I can say hi.
Yeah.
After the first show to see if it goes well, you know?
Right.
So at what point did you start to sort of pivot? I mean, and forgive me for assuming anything.
No, it's fine.
I don't know how continuous is your let's say traditional performing career at this point, or have you pivoted completely to comedy, or how did that happen?
So I still have to keep the lights on singing, and do a lot. So like I've been working with LA Opera for about the past 16 seasons, I think,
fantastic.
as a chorus. I've been in the chorus, and I've done probably 8 or 9 of the bits, where you go out and do some solo bit work. And then locally, I've had a pretty good like local soloist career, like
That's great.
in the greater LA area, Long Beach Opera. I just did a role with Detroit Opera.
Oh yeah.
I did. Yeah. So we did Central Park 5, which is an Anthony Davis piece.
Sure.
He wrote Malcolm X. He wrote some other stuff.
Right.
Anyway, they put Malcolm X at Detroit before it went to the Met. So it was kind of like we're kind of hoping, we're like,
Yeah. Right.
Now who knows, right? Well,
Sure.
anyway, I had to play Trump.
Oh wow.
Nice.
And I got to play Trump, I'll say. And it was the second time I got to play Trump. They called me the first time it was premiered at Long Beach Opera to play Trump, and I had a chorus thing, and they wouldn't let me out of it, and it was a whole thing. So it came back to me weirdly. I was like, well, okay, if this role comes back to you, I guess you got to say, let's see what this is all about.
Right.
So I invested my time. It was a hard role. It is a hard role. It's very new music-y. It's a lot of, if you get like a major third or a perfect fourth, you're like, what's going on? What's wrong?
This must be a wrong note.
Chock full of tritones and sevenths and just weird. And every bar is a different, different time signature and meter.
Yeah,
and
wow.
And it just drives. Once you push play on it, your heart kind of goes, oh, fuck. You're like, here we go, and it doesn't stop, for 3 hours. It's just it's a lot of counting. And then it's high notes on top of that. It's not a low roll. You kind of have to peel the paint with some B flats and a lot of A's and stuff.
Yeah.
It's amazing just kind of learning more about you. And I think that this is exactly what we want young singers to sort of become aware of, is that in season 1, we did a great episode with Dana Varga, who talks a lot about the importance and necessity of a correlating career in this art form, and how for so long that was such a stigma, and how it was almost like you wouldn't mention at all if you had to get another job doing something to,
or
like
you're saying in the
serious,
chorus. Like I always felt like it was because I came from, I'm sure we all came up at about the same time. I'm 52, so like I came up at a time that if you said you were a chorister and you still thought about singing a solo, it was kind of like you were sort of a failure in a way. There was a bit of a fail. You were working as a singer, so everyone was like, hey, you're doing your job as a singer. But deep down, if you fucking practiced aria, you didn't practice choruses in your undergrad. You practiced every highlight aria to see yourself at the lip of the stage. And if you experience it, I experienced it for like 9 roles in a row.
Right.
So like I was like, this is my place, So for me to then do 2 yaps and then accumulate 5 professional roles at a B house, at Arizona Opera, because my teacher bailed and they just said, hey, we trust you. There's no yap here. We're going to trust you with these roles.
Right.
And they kept hiring me. So I was like, okay, so I'm not fucking it up bad enough.
You're doing something right.
Yeah. They're not calling, Joe or this other tenor who kind of sings the shit out of stuff. I'm like, they're calling me.
Right.
So I was like, not like I deserve it, but I'm like, okay, so I'm not doing something necessarily wrong. It's like, I should keep the party going. And,
absolutely.
And so when I got to LA, the only way to make consistent money is to be a professional ensemble member. That's the gig here. So to be in the LA Master Chorale, to do session work, and to do chorus is really the way to keep the lights on
Right.
here, because it's the union work. And if you accumulate that and stitch it together, it's a pretty damn good living.
Sure.
And it's consistent.
I'm remembering your post about your movie credits in Star Wars.
Yeah, like the movie credit. Yeah, fuck, they didn't post those, but but they do. They're better. They're better now than they used to be about credits of that stuff. But like, if you can get yourself into that racket by word of mouth, you know, and then get in the room and show that you can do the work, which is kind of on half a vocal cord. But if you do the trick, you know, you can't. As I tell my students, like, how do you sing in movies? I'm like, that's just something that some people can do and some can't. And like, if you're used to singing in choirs, you find your way kind of through a half technique. But I'm like, I can't tell you as an operatic tenor how to do that. Like, you got to kind of like play with some shapes in there and figure it out. And then I can maybe tell you what to do. But like, you know, it's a heady thing, but then it depends on the director. It depends on what they're going for. It depends on so many factors that, so like, once you get into that racket, then you can start to get like money when you're not working, like get a residual from time to time, because it's a SAG after gig, and it's not like guaranteed, and it's still like, I've been doing it over 10 years and I don't feel like a veteran, and I still feel new, and I still feel real lucky when I get the call. So there's a bit of a hustle and a quiver in here on it. It doesn't ever feel like I've made it, I'm good, I'm cool, I'm tenured, whatever that feeling is. There's no release on it. It's the same feeling as you get when you're doing the hustle as a singer. It's the same, like, I got to audition, I got to keep on it. You're only as good as your last gig. Okay, let's go, let's fucking go. You know, it's kind of that. It's the same
hustle.
It's the
Absolutely.
hustle.
I mean, I think that's almost one of the most important attributes and things that you have to have. If you can't hustle, if you don't enjoy kind of, you know, stitching things together, like you were saying, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, then probably being a professional musician is not for you.
Right.
And it's the same with comedy, because like, so you'd think comedy is better, you know, because you're like, well, more people like it. And then you're like, you think if you just connect on something that like, oh, that's new, that's different, like, oh, that'll hit. So it's, I'm almost like, I'm 3 years in it. So I had this idea. I'll just tell you, this segued into something. I had a whole point with this shit, but I'm super ADHD and I'm not quite caffeinated enough yet to focus with y'all. But I love y'all. So I was unhappy being in the chorus, making that my main job. And, you know, I was having a hard time because maybe the surroundings weren't consistent with that. They were happy and thankful, and I was happy and thankful to have a job. It's not that. I don't think it's I think you can be happy and thankful to have a position and be really grateful to be around some of the best singers in the world and see that on stage, but still want more. And I think it's okay. I think we have a hard time in this world, especially in LA, in this bubble out here in LA, that we can be thankful, but that means we have to stop. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, it totally makes sense.
It's like, yeah, I just need to be grateful. I need to fucking keep going. And that's the part that didn't sit with me for about 11 years. So I kind of just chilled in the chorus. And so about halfway through, somebody said something in a rehearsal, and the guy said, is it Gibikung or Gibikung? Gibikung, 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 Gibikung. And I sat there in the back I was in the back. And first of all, he wasn't making a differential between the two. So I didn't know I was like, is he having a stroke? Is he smelling toast? What's happening? Also, I was like, this kind of entertaining.
Right.
And I just started smiling. And then I just go, oh, fuck. And then it's like a light bulb came on. I was like, it writes itself. And so I went home and I started writing stories about the chorus. And
oh my gosh, that's amazing.
That's brilliant. That is brilliant.
And my favorite show is The Office, of course. So I just started you know, I was like, okay, there's that guy, and there's that guy, and there's fucking that girl, and holy shit, you know. So I was like, I have a world here. And so I started, you know, I have like, you know, and that's the end goal with this, right? Is to write about this
Your
this
real life
world, this
experiences.
world that I ended up
Yeah.
in that I didn't necessarily plan to be. But I'm like, it's even better that I didn't, like, the core of the core of the core of the core didn't really want to be there, wanted to be on the front of the stage. And I'm watching, I'm like, all these
Yeah.
fucking assholes out there,
Yeah.
I sees, God. It's like, not that it's bad, not that I'm not thankful, but like, I'm like, there has to be 9 other people in this chorus that feel the same way deep down and
Right.
won't admit
Right.
it because they have to be so fucking grateful because they're in LA and they're in the bubble,
Right.
so it's like, part of me is like, and if you might, maybe if you're in Chicago, you might talk more shit about it, or in New York, but like in LA, you don't dare, it's like, there's no, we're nice. We love everyone. It's like, which
Right.
is not bad. I love that. I love that it's a kinder, gentler nation here. I love that we're
Sure.
respectful. I love that it's safe. I love that we're high five and we have each other's back here. That's fucking awesome. It
Yeah.
should be that way, but it's just funny coming from a jaded world, as we all did, to laugh about it and be like, yeah, okay. Oh, nice. I bet, it's like, because we all, we
So
come from that.
let me ask you this. How long
Yeah.
did it take you from the moment where you had this idea, you started writing down these stories, until you decided to get up in front of an audience and start sharing some of this stuff?
It took, that's the other painful part, is that was about 2016, 2017 that I got that idea, and I started kind of jotting stuff down, and then I started like doing it with another chorister, but then I think our egos clashed too much. We were both tenors. It was like a bad idea. But I think, we both wanted to be the guy. We kind of have the same lens. So it was kind of like,
Yeah.
oh, if we both wanted to be the person, it's like, if I just pass this off, you're going to try and take this more than 50%. And I was not that it was bad or good. I just was like, he was somebody who he was more advanced in the writing, and I just wanted to get better with the writing. I didn't want to hand it off to anybody. I just was like, I want to live in this world and see if I'm any good or not before I can even see if this idea that I had can be manifested through my lens,
Absolutely.
and then
Absolutely.
also, then if there's a collaboration, it doesn't have to be my lens, but it has to be something that I'm like, oh, like, I can't just pass it off and say, okay, I trust you with this,
Yeah,
wholeheartedly.
absolutely.
It's been in my brain too long, and it's,
Yeah.
so what I did was I started taking UCB classes right after the pandemic. Upright
What is
Citizens
UCB?
Upright Citizens Brigade is kind of like the one of the main it's like Tina Fey and
Improv stuff, yeah?
it's improv stuff. Yeah. So
Oh,
they go through
wow,
the
okay.
Herald technique. And so I did 3, I didn't quite get through the entire thing. I'm still going to go back and take the last one, but I got 3 in, and then I took a stand-up class is what happened. But I got 3 levels in. The problem with those classes was mostly because of my schedule with the chorus and with Master Chorale and with solo career stuff. It was so hard to like be consistent, and with teaching too.
Yeah, sure.
With the teaching stuff, having to shuffle students around for like UCB classes didn't make sense, like at a
Right.
university, if I'm going to teach, I'm like, well, I can't do that. So
Yeah.
So
sure.
I got through 3 levels, which I had to retake 1 or 2 levels a couple times because I got kicked out because I had to like miss more than 2 classes. They were really
Mhm.
strict on it. So
Oh, wow.
I got
Yeah.
more than 3 levels. I got like almost 4 levels of class time, but only
Sure.
passed 3 levels. And then I took the stand-up class, and then after that, I didn't want to be good at it, because I could see my wife was like, "Oh God, don't let this." She's like, she's very aware of my tenordom.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
a
yeah.
soprano. She's a professional soprano, so like
There
we
you
both
go.
basically do the exact same thing. And she was like, "Oh God, don't let this be good." But then she came to my Type 5 after 2-3 weeks of this workshop that I took, and it was good. And I wrote about opera, and I was like, well, a lot of these, I said, I'd already been doing the sketch stuff when I started UCB. I started doing online stuff, and it was not, it was really hit or miss. I just started, I called 2 of my friends. One is Babatunde Akimboboye.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So Bobby's one of my friends from way back. We did outreach together. And then also we just did the Central Park 5 show together. So I know, he's really talented, and he started in the pandemic at the right time. And so he was the first call I made. And I was like, dude, I want to try doing this online shit. He goes, I don't understand why people haven't been doing this all along. This is like, there's money in this, dude. You got to do this.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. And so I started making stuff, and it was real hit or miss. And then I also had a meeting with my actor friend, Clayton Ferris, who also does online content, has a really high following and does a lot of sketch stuff. And, this is the same advice. Keep going, keep going. You'll find your way. You'll find your
Mm.
way. Just keep figuring it out. Like, look at stuff, watch things, try and make stuff. You'll find it, and it's still in process. Like, I'm still like 3 years in, and I don't make money doing it, to be honest. I am not like
Mm-hmm.
converting my life to, I want to, but
Yeah,
and putting that out in the universe, I want to make it
absolutely.
a
That's-
thing, but it's a tough, most of these comedians, what I realized, we think we get paid shit for some of these gigs, like where they're like, I'll come by, I'll pay you like $150 to come sing this aria and,
Mhm.
talk to our students or whatever. And you're like, I can't do that for that. And then you find out what comedians are making and you're like, oh shit. You're like, okay, that's like, it's like bathing
Right.
in gold for beginning comedians. They don't get, in fact, you don't get paid.
Yeah.
I'm just now starting to get paid after 2 years in. Isn't that
Wow.
crazy?
Yeah. Yeah.
And when
yeah.
I say get paid, I'm like, they're gonna throw me some tip money. It's like
Right.
really, it's like in college at a shift, I would make more money, like
Right,
bussing
right.
tables or something. So
Sure.
it's really gross work. You have to feel, it's very garage bandy. As I say, you have
Right.
to like bring 5 guests sometimes, and
Oh wow.
yeah, it's a real like pay to play sort of feel. And it like, if you compare it to what we do, it doesn't, it's not the same, it's not the same level. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's not like, it's
Yeah.
like the, if you, yeah, because like I've done gigs at like the Comedy Store and the Ice House and these big clubs, and I've done 20-minute sets, where I've carved through all this material, but the pay
Right.
is not great. You're basically, it's like dress for the job you want. It's a very
Mhm.
much, the comedy
Sure.
is very much that. But I know that the differential, that when you do make it and you do get a certain amount of followers, can be pretty great.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I mean,
So
we all, Weston and I know are both fans of stand up, and we talk about a lot of, Sebastian Maniscalco and all these other
oh,
guys.
he's great. I love
Louis
Sebastian.
CK.
Yeah, Louis C.K.
Louis
My wife.
CK
Ricky
is
Gervais,
Yeah,
all these
yeah.
guys.
yeah, my
I
wife.
could go down
Yeah,
the, yeah. Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
God.
yeah.
Yeah. We could definitely go
Um,
down the list on that. Yeah, I'm huge fans of
I
many
love,
comedians.
yeah, I love hearing about the craft. I mean, the
Me
sound,
too.
that of this, and how it happens, and it makes me feel like, I know not everybody will have the kind of comedic gift, but this idea of kind of like thinking about your life in this way and coming up with a story and doing this all kind of stuff is a way to give one, I mean, a singer who needs a social media presence, is kind of where I'm going here,
Yeah.
a way to kind of think about this, because and most of what we see out there is just so random. Like, I mean, it's kind of almost like narcissistic in a way. Like, I'm just going to turn the camera on, and thousands of people are going to love to hear what I say and think it's great. Like, that's just like that's like having a singing technique where I'm going to throw up against the wall and see what sticks.
Right.
Like, this
Yeah.
is an actual kind of process of thinking about things. And like, I don't know, I feel like it's the beginning of a really interesting, course at a collegiate level, to think
Well,
about how to do that.
I have kind of taught, I taught like a loose class because I teach at a kind of a liberal arts college that doesn't have a structured like vocal performance degree, which I'm kind of
Okay.
glad about, because
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad I don't have like these badasses ready to cannonball into the, my wife does. She's got some
Uh-huh.
really amazing singers, and I know they're going to do some serious good damage in the opera world if they
Right.
get, if they get the right opportunities. But I'm kind of glad I have these like guys that are like, I don't know, man, like, because in some ways, 'cause I'm like, well, maybe you guys might end up doing way more, having this sort of like, I'm just going to go with it sort of
Right.
vibe than some of these people that are like hard nosed into like, I must do opera
Sure.
or
Right.
whatever
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is. But yeah, I don't, there is a college, my college course to be taught there, and there is like a life learning skills course. I think it starts in the brain, and I think
Mm-hmm.
so much of, it's funny, like as voice teachers, we don't want to be psychologists, right?
Right.
But like we end
Well,
up
but we
being,
are.
yeah,
I mean,
but
come
we
on.
fucking are. And I read this book on confidence this summer. It's really good. It's called The Confident Mind,
Mm.
Dr. Nate Zinzer. Anyway, it's great for performers. I encourage anyone to check it out. It speaks about it through a bit of an athletic lens, but it's very good.
Yeah.
And, affirmations. But, my teacher right now is talking about that so much about, yeah, okay, we know the process, we know the structure, we know what the science is inside the throat and all what it's supposed to do. Once you
Right.
figure that out, if you're thinking about that all the time when you step up on stage, there's probably a problem, and so
Sure.
you have to really set your mind in this successful, confident way,
Right.
and I think a lot of it doesn't, so much of it, I feel like we're kind of messed up, like obviously we're messed up right now as a country and as society and all that
Right.
stuff.
Sure.
But like,
Yeah,
even
yeah,
to get
yeah.
beyond that, it's like, we don't set our minds all the time as we should as performers, in the right place. I'm noticing that with students, they're all over the place. And I'm like,
Mm.
what are you doing before you do this exercise? Like, what's the intention?
There you
What is
go.
your intention?
I love it.
You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wish, here at IU, I work with, freshmen, and I've got some master's students, and I have some performance
Michelle
diploma
there still?
students. She is. In fact, I'll see her tonight.
Tell her, hey, because like
Okay.
because we've taken many lessons online.
Oh, that's
She's
awesome.
taught me some great stuff. Yeah, she'd tell
Yeah,
her
yeah, yeah.
tell her my pillars are out. Just tell her the pillars are
I,
out.
I definitely will.
She's singing tonight. There's a live
I
stream.
saw that, yeah.
She and Stuart Skelton and Peter Volpe.
Oh,
Peter
nice.
Volpe,
You were
yeah.
saying, oh, that's gonna be lovely. What is it?
It's Act 1 of Die Valkyrie, so it's going to
Holy
be
shit,
awesome.
that's
I know,
gonna
I
be
know.
fireworks.
I'm super, super excited. And actually, we have plans. We're all going out to dinner afterwards, so
Hell
I'll
yeah.
definitely
Oh, please
be
send
able to.
love.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
certainly
God.
will. I certainly will.
I got to
Um,
see her. I saw her Mahler when she came out here
Oh yeah,
recently. So
that's awesome. Yeah,
it was
I
awesome.
will. I'll tell her. And it's funny because I just didn't put it together that you were in LA. But my wife and I were asking our kids like, hey, where's someplace you would like to go, like a little like summer vacation?
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, can we go to LA? And I was like, sure. I'm like, I didn't expect LA, but I'd be happy to go to LA. I mean, I think it's because
Movie stars.
movie stars,
Uh-huh.
people hear about it. Also, my brother-in-law is a film director.
No way.
Yeah, and so he's done some stuff. He's Greek, and so he
That's super
has
cool.
done but some feature films, like with Sebastian Stan and like real people.
Real people, yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
so that was
awesome.
super cool. But anyway, I was like, well, I think I know 2 people. Now I know 3
Now you know
in
another
LA.
person. Yeah, exactly. Come on.
And
And I wish you would. Have you performed out here?
you know what I did when I was on the tour with Marilla, the
Did you
Western
do
Opera
the Western
Theater
Opera
tour.
Theater tour?
I sure did.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
back in 2000. Yeah, I did that.
What
We
did you sing?
Così fan tutte. We did 54 performances.
Holy shit.
And it was
That was a
yeah.
oh
Yeah,
my God.
just gonna say it's triple cast. So me, Dan Weeks, and oh no, I'm a terrible person because I'm forgetting. Oh, Ryan McPherson. We were
Oh,
the
no
3.
way,
Yeah,
Ryan?
we were the 3 Ferrandos, and we
Oh
would
my
trade up.
God.
So you're in chorus on the nights you're not singing the lead,
Yeah.
and you're moving scenery and stuff like that. But
At least it's cozy. I mean, you have like 4 lines to sing. So.
yeah, exactly, and they're
It's like
all
no big deal.
super low. It's not
Yeah, it's
hard.
like-
It's a joke.
Paid by the note. Yeah.
But yeah, I was there in LA for that, but I never got to sing with LA Opera. I think I might have had something, and then COVID or something went sideways with the schedule. But I did do the Zachary competition, which is out
Yeah,
there, and so
sure,
I did
sure.
spend some
Yeah.
time, kind of out in LA. But anyway, yeah. So I'm glad to know you, and I would love to get together and just
Yeah, let's do
meet
it.
the fams and
Yeah.
and have fun. But
Let's do it. You
man,
too, Weston. Come on
Yeah.
out.
yeah, buddy.
Absolutely, man.
Well,
Where
let's
are
just do
you?
it.
Where are you, Weston? Where are you?
I'm currently in the Kansas City area.
Oh, nice.
Originally from Houston, but yeah. So yeah, I was thinking about, have I ever sung? I was born in San Bernardino.
Oh, no
and,
way.
we lived in San Bernardino for the first 3 or 4 years of my life. My dad was in the Air Force. And he
Sweet.
was based out there, and then we moved to Houston because he took a job flying for Texas International Airlines, which ended up becoming, or they purchased Continental Airlines, but then
Right.
so we stayed there, and I grew up in the Houston area. But
Right
yeah,
on.
a long time ago, I got to go back and sing. I did a production of Don Giovanni in Orange County.
Oh,
but
when
yeah,
they had Opera Pacific.
yeah, it's been so long. Yeah, for whatever reason, I haven't sung in San Diego or LA yet, but yeah, who
Well,
knows? We'll see
that
Let's
what
would be
get
happens.
on
nice.
that.
Yeah, that would be, yeah, I'll talk to my people. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I do, well, I won't say, but yeah, I do know people, but it's like, I don't even, I'm like, how do I talk to anybody anymore? It's like, I'm like, hi, you know me, I'm in the chorus, like, how's it going? I
Well,
mean, I
dude,
get through, what weight can you throw away? You can throw in there, you know, it's like, hey, I make you laugh online.
yeah, right. So hey, I think that says a lot for a lot of people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't you feel like people just need to laugh at the I feel like it's been so stodgy for so long and so like elitistly viewed by others, you know, our art form.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of hilarity, just like anything else in the guts of it and behind the stage and what goes on. And the actually performers are in some ways more unhinged and
Oh,
more
yeah.
flamboyant in so many different ways. It's like,
Sure.
well, I just feel like that in many ways that was what draws me to musical theater and want to see the final
Hmm.
product is
Yeah.
knowing that happened. And I feel like being able to laugh at it draws you to it more. And I'm like, anything that can draw us more into this art form to not let it totally die, you know,
Yeah.
and also see like what the guts of it are. If pulling back the curtain makes it more interesting to people, then
Sure.
let's not in a like, now we will educate you about the opera.
Right.
That's the
Right.
fucking
Yeah.
problem, in
Yeah.
my
No,
opinion. That's
absolutely.
the problem.
It's condescending, and
Yeah.
it's just like, you know, it there's all kinds of things. I mean, I think every opera company that I can think of should like hire you for like their MC of their galas, or like,
I
you
would
know,
love
coming.
to do that.
Well, I mean, how fun would that be? And
I
like,
was
I mean, it seems like a perfect, like, no-brainer kind of fit.
there was something in the works that unfortunately just got canceled, but it was not because of me. It was because
Right.
of a staffing thing. But it
Uh,
was going to be a huge Christmas event where I was actually going to get to curate the entire evening and MC it. And
that's awesome.
the goal is to okay, so the goal is to have my goal was to have an hour of a Victor Borge clean show. You know,
Okay.
like a
Yeah.
clean Victor
Yeah,
Borge type show that you could either pack with a pianist or with an orchestra
yeah,
depending on the bits.
I love
And
it.
if you had that 40 minutes, because people can't pay attention, so make it
Sure.
40 minutes.
Right.
What's wrong with 40 minutes? It's more than a half hour, gives you time
Right.
for questions, gives you time for
Yeah.
shit in between because it's never
Yeah.
40 minutes.
Right.
You know, it's always starts late, ends late. So that's an hour. You know, it's
Right.
right.
like, especially at a university.
Hmm.
And then if you do that, if you shop that with a master class,
Yeah.
you know, of a
Wow.
Q&A masterclass, and you have some singers get up there that you think, hey, this person's a great performer. We want to see what you think. Or not that I have any like master whatever, but like it's like, oh yeah, you could try this. Oh, maybe try this, but look at it through a comedic lens or through a comedian's
Right.
lens or through a different lens. Just give them some different ideas, or just speak about like, listen, I'm not some big star, opera star, but I'm surviving in the business somehow. And the fact that I had irons in different fires
Yeah.
actually helped me. You know, I was curious about like video editing and recording stuff from movie stuff, you know,
Hmm.
made it survivable during a pandemic, you know, so I could still keep the hustle going because I was
Right.
curious. And then I went back to the stuff that I love after pandemic and it opened back up. But it was like
Sure.
I gave myself some options. You know, the choral stuff really paid off during
Yeah.
pandemic and recording and stuff like that and
Yeah.
virtual choir bullshit, all that stuff,
Well,
you know. So,
yeah, I mean, I know this Renee Fleming video that's been going around
oh
has gotten
yeah.
a lot of heat and stuff, but I think, you know, at the end of the day, getting a degree in singing or music, the goal is to try and make a living as a professional singer or musician. It doesn't have to be to be Renee Fleming or to
No,
be anybody else. And so, like, you know, I mean, I totally understand where she was kind of coming from, but at the same time, I think, you know, on the flip side of that, I went to school with people who got their degree in vocal performance and then decided to go to law school. And
that's
then I
right.
know people who got degrees in piano performance and decided to go to med school. You know,
Yep.
so I mean, there's so many options, and I just think, you know, becoming a musician and becoming an artist helps you think about your life and this existence on this, you know, rock circling around a star. I mean, it's, you know, of making it fulfilling and making it fun and interesting.
Yeah.
I totally agree. You're seeking beauty. You're
Yeah.
seeking, you're seeking something that isn't tangible by
Right.
paper, and I think that's, yeah, while there are points of Renee's video that make sense,
Yeah.
make very good pragmatic sense actually, and I consistently will tell my students, like, be pragmatic also when you're with
Right.
your passions, like figure out, like, okay, yeah, I want to do this, but like I'm okay doing this, keeping the lights on while I'm
Yeah.
sure, striving for this. I think that the message, is yes, okay, you might have to find other things to, you know, to survive, but as a just be a whole person, like figure it out. It's
Yeah.
like I think that's a lot of it too, is like I don't know if this degree path was ever just like a one and done certified
Hmm.
thing. I don't think that's ever been a thing. Even with like singers feeling like the customer of paying for a degree, I'm paying for this degree and getting this, so I should have a career. It's like, but the thing is like you still have to work.
Yeah.
It's a real, like, and it's still subjective. And you still knew this like
Sure.
at 18 going into that you had to sound good.
Right.
Right.
You had to sound,
Absolutely.
have your shit together to
You
like
have
get
to
up on
learn your
stage.
music. You
Yeah.
gotta. I'm shocked by
Like,
yeah, students who I feel like picked a vocal performance degree because they felt like it was kind of an easy,
it's
thing.
hard. It's
It's like
so fucking
it's
hard.
so hard with the languages and the theory and the piano. If you don't already have certain level of those skills, you're gonna drown in
Yeah.
the
I will s-
curriculum.
I will say this, that's similar to comedy. The real work, is not flashy,
Right.
and so if you want that, and this is true of acting, this is true of almost any skill set that goes up on the stage. The real work is done while you can bullshit your way. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a fantastic bullshitter, and I am fantastic at like shoving a roll in my throat
Right. Right.
in the heat of battle and jumping on stage. Oh my god, I wish I didn't have that skill, because the first time I did that, then I thought I could fucking do it every time. You know what I mean? Like I was like, this is
Right.
pretty sweet. It
Right.
doesn't work that way. It catches
Yeah.
up with you,
Sure.
and it's like the real work is done behind closed doors, and in the silence, and not swiping on your phone to see who else is doing a role, or
Oh yeah.
happy to announce, or any of that stuff.
Sure.
It's you putting your pen to the paper and focusing and setting a timer and not looking at those devices and locking in for that amount of time to get your word for translation, or just like get your rhythms down,
Absolutely.
just the rhythms, or just the
Yeah.
vibe of the piece, or just to find out what the fuck you're saying. I don't know, like
Yeah.
for me with a joke set, I'm so grateful to have had the solo stuff and have planned recitals and planned things like that, because when I'm planning a joke set, it's like it's a tempo and it's a cadence and it's a key,
Right.
so it's like that joke's gonna hit here. Okay, opera. Oh, I was Mormon, that's fun. Not now. I
Right.
have to lay off the Trump and the Mormon stuff right now because of just where we are, I think, politically,
Right.
and what just happened and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like,
Sure.
well, I think I'll pump the brakes on those two subjects. I'm like, just
Right.
happen to be that I do a really good Trump impression. It happened to be that I used to be Mormon, and I'm like,
Right.
I had so much information on that, but I'm just gonna let that breathe for a
Yeah.
bit.
Just sit on
Also,
that.
just because I have a lot of friends that and singer friends that are Latter-day Saint too, and I
Yeah.
always
Sure.
wonder how much. I haven't spoken to a lot of them. Like, I kind of wonder how much I've offended y'all, but y'all know I was ex-Mormon, right? I'm Foreman, it's like, so I'm allowed to be pissed off, and it's like if Trey Parker can say that, it's like it's
Yeah,
fine.
if you can put out the Book of Mormon,
I
and
was gonna say,
Yeah.
it's like, come on,
I
they've
mean,
had
we
so much support over
yeah.
the years.
We have that because my brother-in-law is a former Mormon, and some of Weston's family are not
Yeah.
former Mormons.
No,
but
well, most of them are all. In fact, I don't know. I can't
Yeah.
speak
Some
for all of
active
them because I
still?
haven't. I think there might be one of my half siblings from my dad's second marriage who is still Mormon, but I don't
Yeah.
even think that she is. I think that all of them are have left the church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, yeah, I could go for hours on that, but yeah,
Sure,
no,
sure.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's just, but in terms of like programming and like doing the work and like sequencing, it feels like a
Yeah.
recital when you're doing like a comedy
Sure.
set. And
Sure.
and it's what's easy about it in that sense is you can like think song to song in your head,
Mm-hmm.
almost like joke to joke. And I think
Right.
like that way of thinking is giving me not an advantage, but just being like, oh, okay, it's like this. I can relate it to something.
Yeah.
So
Well, let
it's
me
fun.
ask you this. Looking forward, what kind of projects do you have coming up? If people are in the LA area, where can they see you?
I have a show in oh God. Oh my God. Okay, so I'll announce this. Y'all are gonna laugh.
Okay.
I took this gig as a friend. A friend I think was locked in a West Side Story at LA Opera. So had to bail out of a orchestra gig. And Huntington Beach Symphony is doing some excerpts from Tristan.
Whoa. Okay.
And you're singing Tristan.
And I'm fucking singing Tristan, some
Okay.
act two shit. And I'm like,
Oh, the short act, right?
yeah, the short one, but it is short. It's literally like what I laughed about. I was like, this is like the outreach version of Act Two. This is
Right,
hilarious. It's in
right.
20. It's like quick and dirty in 20 minutes.
Wow.
So like I'm doing that opening bit where I scream, and then I do some love duetty stuff, and then I do the whole ending right as I get stabbed, which they don't have a Melo, so they're just gonna have a super come on and stab me, which I think is hilarious.
Amazing.
Yeah, and so but anyway, I didn't know how I was gonna feel. I've been taking with a new teacher and just kind of finally I've been sort of closing off my chest voice for a few years because I've been just not purposely, but like, oh, I was closing that off. Wow, So it was kind of like back to where I was used to being, connecting with the whole body to my voice. And when I listen back, and my wife listened back, she goes, "You sound good." She goes, "This sounds right." I was like,
I love it.
I go, "Don't say that." I'm like, "Don't say that." Don't fucking say that. Don't fucking say that. I was like,
just like with the comedy stuff, right? It's like, oh man.
Well, because people have always said, well, I hear this in your voice. When I sing Tamino, they're like, that's normally given to baby Heldens back in the day,
right.
in the 90s.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, and I was like, they go, that's right in your voice. You don't pussyfoot it. I was like, no, God, not in that tessitura. I don't.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Said, well, that's a sign. They said, that's a sign. If you can't that, and you, then maybe, I was like,
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So. I love that, dude. Well,
we'll see. I don't know. Like, I'm not built like that anymore. Like I used to be probably 30-40 pounds heavier, and it felt much easier then. I'm like $170, so like,
and me too, buddy. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, we're just
you're
a bunch of
fucking Eldon, dude.
Hundies.
You're a fucking Eldon. Yeah, like I watched. I acquainted myself with that video when you came out with your album and and it was the William Tell that oh God, I love that
little piece.
Yeah. I gotta tell you
that so much.
Oh, thank you, brother.
So good. It was so incredible. Like I'm like, oh my God, it's so good.
I got to tell you this story just real quick, and then we'll hop off here. I'll let you go on with your day. But so that video became like really viral and all that kind of stuff. But like, it's funny because for me, I was so pissed off at that moment because we had done that, right? And we were going to put that piece away, and we went on break. And so I was getting my head into something else, and then the head of the record label of Warner Classics, who's French, was like, really, it's aux armes, not aux armes.
Oh fuck!
And God. I was like, yeah, I know, but in Italian, it's we always go allarmi. Okay, and so he's like, maybe we could just go back one more time and just do those armes, and we see which one is the best. So like, I had to go and do that whole cabaletta again.
And there's so many C's. Like there's like
it's ridiculous.
C's and there's they're big balls. They're not right.
And the thing is, it's almost what's harder than the C's, other than the last C, which is and that was where the whole point of the take, right? So I got probably 90 seconds of like, okay, this kind of good, okay, but the scales that go from like the middle G up to the high G, A, B flat, B natural, C, and doing that twice, that is brutal. It's brutal.
Well, you're in a different passaggio. You're on a different planet, a different passaggio. Like,
so, like when I'm folding my arms, like so many people have asked me, why did you fold your arms at that point? Like, is that some kind of technique thing?
Dude.
I was like, I just was pissed. I
Yeah.
just was pissed and was like, here you go. I'm going to show you that I can do what you're asking me to do and all this kind of stuff. But I mean, anyway, I just think
Did
it's
people think you
funny.
were doing it for like compression or something, or like they were like, I was like, you're
I
doing that to
literally was
compression,
just like,
to like, you know,
fine. Yeah, I was like
right.
literally like, fine. You want to make me do this again and waste another 20% of the voice that I have today on one take kind of thing. And so
Also,
anyway,
the AFFM
yes.
charges for the or whatever they were getting paid, the orchestra. You
Oh
know, they had
God.
to. They were
Yeah,
dumping money into that shit. And then yeah, of course, like if you
absolutely.
like, what did you have to sing? Do you remember what you had to sing after that? Do you remember like what was what was the
Uh,
cue after
it was
that?
kind of like a cabaletta day, so it was a pretty heavy day because
Cabaletta Day.
yeah, well, because here's the thing, right? So we would record the ariosos, and then we
That's
only
funny.
had the chorus for 2 days. And so the chorus had to
Mm.
come in on like a Thursday and a Saturday. So we had to knock out anything that had chorus on Thursday and Saturday. So
Man,
like and there are a lot of pieces in there of the caballetas that have chorus, men's
yeah,
chorus kind of backup, and
right.
it's super fun. But I think we probably did that one first because it would have been the one that I was most confident in, and we were probably going to the O Paradis, the
Oh
cabaletta
yeah.
from that one, which is nuts because it's got that C sharp at the end that's like it's just
God, that's
crazy.
just nuts. And
Yeah,
it's so weird that it's for that voice, like that
yeah,
voice type. Like
yeah,
that to
yeah,
me is like, I'm like, dude, really? Like,
right.
Well, that's why they didn't do it for a long time, and then they did
yeah.
it, and then it didn't go, and then it went away, and then
Yeah.
when somebody
Who
like
like
Brian comes
who
about,
originated? Like, was it like a George Teal sort of thing back
No,
in the day, or
it's back older. It's older than he when they were doing it. So like Dupre, who was the guy who did the first
sure?
chested high C, did a lot of that stuff for Meyerbeer. And I think it was only because of that Meyerbeer started writing that way with such crazy
Because they
tessitors. I
had
mean,
somebody that could do it. Yeah,
yeah, and then so then it kind of became so Dupre was French, but then he went to Italy to study with Donizetti and some other.
right.
I know this only because I did a paper on it in my when I got my master's from Westminster, because I just wanted to know more about how did the switch between the voix mix and the kind of lighter tenors like say Mozart was writing for.
Right.
How did that gradually change and then kind of overnight change from when Nourri sang the opening of Guillaume Tell totally voix mix, and then the next season is when Dupre came and he chested not all the high C's but some of the ones in the aria in Act 4, and so and the cabaletta, right? And so that's how it kind of became like whoa. And so then Nourri went to Italy to study with the same people that Dupre did, and he lost his voice. He
Yeah,
lost his
I wouldn't
voice,
doubt it.
yeah,
Yeah.
because he just didn't have that kind of a mechanism. And it's kind of a tragic story after
I
that.
mean,
And yeah,
it's not uncommon though. If you even think of the
yeah.
Italian the Italian dude, I mean, what's his name? Who not Di Stefano.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
sure.
that's a sad to me, that is one of the saddest stories because
Yeah,
like what a gorgeous, like gorgeous lyric voice, right?
sure.
And then he kind of tried to he kind of doubled down on some stuff and it was
Yeah,
like, ah, dude, it's so close, but
absolutely.
please don't do this,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can understand the pull being an Italian,
Me
right?
too.
Like, I think somebody like Wunderlich, or well, I mean, unfortunately, he was so young when he passed, but
He's
um,
like my favorite. I
oh my
really love
gosh,
he's
oh
just
yeah.
like that's
But
the
like
best.
somebody like Gedda
Yeah.
never sang stuff that was not his rep, and he was
No.
totally fine with it. But that's more of a kind of Swedish, that kind of personality to just be like, I'm happy with what I have. Whereas the Italians, it's like blood and guts. You want me? Everybody wants to sing
well,
that
have you
tenor
seen the
repertoire.
Delmonico? Did
I
you
was
ever
just
watch
gonna
that
say
Delmonico?
Oh my
Delmonico,
god!
dude. Just gonna say, if you watch old Delmonico tape, that just explains that's the
Yeah,
crux of it, right? That's the
exactly.
extreme, right? But like, oh, it's
Yeah.
so good.
You
God,
seen the
it's so
one,
funny to
Todd,
watch.
where he picks up the thing by the swimming pool and throws it into the into
Yes.
the pool?
Yes.
Oh my gosh! And guys,
So good.
anybody
Doing that
listening?
method acting in the place when he
Oh,
does all the
oh
it's
my
so
god!
wow. It's like that. Wow. Yeah.
Well, fellas, this has been so amazing. Todd, we thank you so much for making us
Oh,
laugh and kind of giving us a behind the scenes look at how you come up with the content and your stories and stuff. And we just so thankful for you coming to join us. And we look forward to hearing about the Tristan and everything else that's coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do other comedy. You know what? If you just go to my, I was gonna say, I did, I mentioned that Tristan concert. I'm doing a lot more stuff, but
Yeah.
if you want to go to my website, I usually post all my comedy shows and my music stuff. I do have a little bit in Bohème coming up at LA Opera. I'm the Prune Yeti tour guy, so don't
Oh, sure.
blink, but
Amazing.
it's a nice little drive by.
And
Yeah,
what's your
sure.
website?
My website's just toddstrange.net, and I
Okay.
keep my comedy stuff and my opera stuff up on that. There's a link on my social media to it, and
We'll be sure to put that in for the
Thank you
Yeah, the
so much.
description.
Yeah.
I really appreciate of both of you, and again, big fans of your singing, and just of your. You're both so cool and just awesome, and I hope we can, keep this friendship going. It's really nice.
Absolutely,
really nice to
man.
talk to you both. Yeah,
Absolutely,
thank you so
brother.
much. Yeah,
All right. Thanks so much.
All right, take care.
See
Bye.
you soon.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us on Season 2 of Between the Notes podcast. Please remember to like and subscribe to our videos, and we will see you next time.